Few in SIGEP history have elevated the importance of living learning environments like Brother U.G. Dubach of the Oregon Alpha chapter at Oregon State University. Brother Dubach was a member of the Order of the Golden Heart, a citation recipient, a past national director, SIGEP's National Scholarship Chairman for more than 20 years. Dubach would travel thousands of miles to talk with chapters at every corner of the country about the importance of scholarship. He spoke about the living learning environments our chapter facilities should emulate, long before we called these residential learning communities. He said, Sigma Phi Epsilon must provide an atmosphere that makes it difficult for a man to do wrong and easy for a man to do right. At its best, Sigma Phi Epsilon must provide in its brotherhood a moral compass for which members to make smart decisions. He was referring to a home away from home, the safe and academically minded living space that offers young men the structure and support they need to succeed. Today, the average student spends 90% of their college time outside of the classroom. This fact reinforces the importance of great chapter homes that support the out-of-classroom experience. Providing this kind of environment requires hard work, diligence, and a whole lot of brotherly love. I would like to thank our SENH directors who have made this experience possible for thousands of brothers by supporting excellent living spaces across the country. Over the past 2 years, alumni from all over the country have given their time, talent, and treasure to make housing projects that support Brother Dubach's goals a reality. Projects vary in size and scope. Some are small, cosmetic enhancements. Others are major renovations. Some are completely new construction. The recruitment and support of resident scholars, faculty fellows, regular maintenance, effective property management, and responsible financial management are just a handful of the best practices employed by these AVCs as they support our chapter homes. Every contribution, regardless of type, is significant. It represents a continued effort to make our fraternal experience one that encourages good decision-making, supports academic endeavors, and builds safe environments, ones that cultivate true brotherhood. It takes a special group of committed alumni to see a project through. At this time, SIGEP National Housing is pleased to recognize 2 AVCs and their many alumni who have, through selfish devotion to the living environments of our brothers, given young men the resources required to reach their highest potential, to strive for arete. And in so doing, these alumni volunteers have achieved excellence in themselves. Now, we celebrate the accomplishments of these alumni and volunteer corporation with Sigma Phi Epsilon's Cornerstone Award. First, Colorado State. Alumni had long dreamed of renovating their classic chapter home. Aside from an addition in the 1950s and several other small projects that have been completed over the years, the home remained largely unchanged from when it was originally built in 1930. Practically everything needed to be renovated, including plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems. The interior also needed to be brought up to date to make it more comfortable and functional for the needs of today's college students. And while still elegant, the exterior had seen better days. Faced with this growing to-do list, several brothers began discussing a long-term vision to remodel the chapter home. In 2003, I make note of that, 2003, 14 years ago, these brothers, volunteers, led by Brian Harmson, 01, Dan Reagan, 02, Tony Morrow, 99, came up with a 10-year plan to carry out a capital campaign and full-scale renovation. They sent out a series of newsletters to alumni about the chapter and the state of the House to Build support. They also retooled the AVC's financial strategy increasing savings from $60,000 to $450,000 in 9 years. The AVC decided to announce its plan for a capital campaign managed by long-term volunteer campaign director Al Horning, 61, and sought design input from several SIGEPs with expertise in construction. Among them was chapter alumnus Mitch Chris, 79, who oversaw the construction and kept the project on budget. With renovation plans going along so well, alumni were disappointed to learn the undergraduates in their previously award-winning chapter had been involved in a series of alcohol-related incidents. These unfortunate incidents resulted in the closure of their chapter. Instead of feeling defeated, the volunteers realized the situation underscored the need for a facility that makes it easy for brothers to do right. The capital campaign continuing, raising a total of $1.2 million with contributions from 139 brothers. Volunteers were determined to be ready for the chapter's return in 2018 with a premier living environment that would attract Colorado State's best students. They further committed to this vision by deciding to seek accreditation as a residential learning community. The $2.7 million renovation was completed in spring of 16. It is fully equipped with Wi-Fi, study areas, office space for a faculty fellow, and a marquee library that will also serve as a classroom. When the ribbon cutting was cut in May, the AVC and the many volunteers and donors saw their many years of faith and hard work rewarded. For their dedication to building the premier living environment at Colorado State University, we recognize with a 2017 Cornerstone Award to the Colorado Gamma AVC. For more than 10 years, the Minnesota Alpha AVC has completed gradual improvement projects as funds allowed. And now they've been able to undertake a large improvement project. The AVC is now in the process of conducting the first wide-scale renovation of the chapter's 8,800 square foot home in the last 25 years, one of Minnesota's premier facilities at the University of Minnesota. In just a few days, the $440,000 project will be complete. When brothers return to the University of Minnesota for this fall semester, they'll find that 80% of the chapter's home interior has been enhanced. Drywall's been repaired. All 20 bedrooms and most of the common areas have been repainted and repaired. The entire house will have new flooring. Bedrooms and lighting have been upgraded, switches, power, etc. Professionally constructed loft beds will replace the homemade beds that had been there for so long. This will enhance safety while maximizing space in the bedrooms. A new sprinkler system will be installed, and the fire alarm system is being replaced. And to accommodate the chapter's growth over the past decade, meeting space in the basement has been enlarged. On their own, these improvements could be considered routine home maintenance. But to truly appreciate how significant these enhancements are, it's necessary to understand how far this home has come under the management of the Minnesota Alpha AVC. When first purchased the historic home in 1992, it had been recently damaged in a heavy fire. The AVC undertook extensive remodel to make the house livable and installed a central fire alarm system. Brothers have been living in the home ever since, and alumni providing consistent upkeep. They've updated the roof, bathrooms, carpeting, kitchen throughout the process. To complete the current renovation, the AVC refinanced its mortgage. A capital campaign is now underway to offset some of the costs of the project. So many volunteers have participated in this project over the years, but it couldn't have been completed without the commitment of several key volunteers, including AVC President Matt Beck, Iowa 90, Treasurer Danny Chaya, Georgia Tech 92, and Vice President of Facilities Jason Somrock, Minnesota 02. Over the years, these brothers and many others have spent countless hours coordinating, planning, and doing the best they could to improve the experience for Minnesota Alpha undergraduates. Their work has created a sustainable environment to springboard the chapter to success for years to come. Through these many years, in making gradual steps and necessary improvements, the Minnesota Alpha AVC has persisted in providing an outstanding chapter home for their undergraduate brothers. Please join me in congratulating this Cornerstone Award recipient, the Minnesota Alpha AVC at the University of Minnesota.